What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up. So I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. But this video is entitled Reasons He Might Not Settle Down. You know, some guys are bachelors, right? And there are reasons why they're not going to settle down, and they're not trying to settle down. Some simple reasons are he hasn't found anybody worth settling down with. Now I know some people who gonna act like, really? Yeah, like there are plenty of guys out here who haven't found a woman who's worth settling down for, who's worth being committed to, or and being married to. So that's one of the reasons he's not gonna settle down. It's like there's nothing to pick from, nothing good out here, right? Another reason, because he doesn't have to buy the cow because he's getting milk from multiple people. See, one of the reasons he's not selling down is because in this new era of sexual liberation when it comes to women, you can have a team of women who don't want to have a relationship but want sex. And when they want a relationship, you can just boot that one out and get another one who doesn't want a relationship and does it but wants sex. Because if you ask a lot of bachelors, they know a lot of women. They have this art to, when they're feeling themselves, they just want male attention. So and they don't want a relationship. So they may want to date and they may want to have sex. So you're gonna figure out, are you the guy she's trying to date for free stuff while she's feeling herself? Or you the guy she's trying to sleep with while she's feeling herself? Because she's gonna be dating multiple guys too. Just like you're dating multiple women. So this is a reason why he's not gonna settle down. Especially, with those types. Because, they have a moment of clarity, or they want commitment after they ran out of options. See, a lot of times, these guys don't settle down because what winds up happening is you get a lot of repeat customers. See, if you're a competent dude, you can be a bachelor, you can be a thought, you can just be a nice guy. You can be quote unquote, husband material, right? But they might not be feeling you like that when you're in their presence. But when you're gone, they compare you to these other guys that they're with, and then you start standing out when the comparisons come up. It was so many guys that were better than you when she had a lot of options, and this guy looked better, this guy had more money, this guy took her places that you didn't, yada yada yada. She got what she wanted out of these other guys. But as the time went by, who was the best man? You could have been on the list of the best men, and now you get repeat customers because now the people that didn't really want you like that, now they want you, and now it's multiple people. So now you got multiple people vying for your attention, like when you were vying for the woman's attention. But these multiple people can be over the hill or hit the wall, and not necessarily in looks, but just don't nobody want them like that no more because they wasted a lot of people's time and they didn't grow out of that. So you can have a roster of repeat customers that know you're not necessarily going to settle down with them, but they don't have no other options. So part of a man is better than no man at all. It's one of the reasons why, he's not selling down. The other thing, he might not be settling down because all of the things that a woman would bring to a relationship that help a relationship and a household, he didn't get those things from the women. Women didn't pour into him. Women weren't caring about him. Women weren't cooking for him. Women weren't coming over cleaning. Women weren't just you calling to check on him. Women weren't concerned. Women weren't trying to nurture or love this guy whatsoever. So he wound up finding his own way and his own peace and creating his own oasis in the world, which in his kingdom or castle, home, whatever. Now he's got his little feng shui going. And he effectively doesn't need women like that anymore because he became self-sufficient by having to basically rely on himself all the time. So now you got to bring more to the table than he's bringing to the table, and he's basically a self-sustained individual who dates, but probably won't meet anybody that'll bring more to the table than him. Or probably meet somebody who can bring enough to the table that they can work cohesively going forward. So he's like, if I'm always giving more and getting less, there's no reason for me to settle down. Another thing, he's not selling down because now he has multiple age groups. If he wants to, if he wants to talk to a girl in her 20s, he can. If she's too immature in her 20s, he'll talk to her because she's in her 20s, talk to a woman in her 30s. She's a little bit more mature, And then he could talk to a woman in her 40s. They all can be attractive, but he's not necessarily building a woman, but what he is doing is, I can get a young, hot body for sex, and she wants to owe somebody to take her to Olive Garden because she thinks that's legit, right? She wants an older guy to kick it with. And you got the woman your age, just wants a man around. And you got the woman who may be a little bit older, and she may be more direct, and you can cool with her, but she may, you might look at her like, if I could find you younger, I will holler at you. The woman at that age still got to grow to the older woman. You can deal with them, like my granddad said, you can't live with them, can't live without them. You can deal with all of them, but you just can't settle down with them because you interacting with these women is the male version of struggle love. It's always something you got to struggle with them. And even though, say, the oldest woman will probably be the wisest and most competent, her looks is going to last the least if you need the attraction. And that depends on age. This is why you see older bachelors date women who aren't super young, but he might be 50, she might be 35. Her aging is okay compared to the aging that he's used to. Cool. But you're probably not going to see guys in their 30s, mid-30s, late 30s with 24-year-olds on a regular basis because he can't stand that conversation. And say the women, the guys that are 30 and up, dating in the 30 and up range, they're meeting too many women in their age group who, for the most part, are in the middle space between acting like a 20-something-year-old immature young woman and acting like a 40-something-year-old grown woman. They're in the middle. It's like a, you know, they vacillate between being childish and being grown, and that becomes irritating. So the guy stays a bachelor because he's not going to deal with all that stuff. He can enjoy the time and move on. And the last but not least, he may not settle down because it's nothing in it for him. He's looked at it. It's cheaper to be single or a bachelor than it is to be a husband or to be in a relationship. He's been there. He's experienced it. He's done the math. He loses more in relationships than he gains. And what I mean by that is he doesn't mind spending money on a woman, but they're not, he's learned, he hasn't met somebody valuable enough to actually write off those expenses. It's like, it's a lot of wasted time, money, and effort. So he's like, I could just date around, because they're going to always be single women, because you got to remember, most of our community isn't married, so the majority of our community is single. So there's always going to be somebody new to date. Even if it gets old and you can take a sabbatical and stop and not do it and come right back. You know why? Because there's always going to be people there. And it's not cheaper to keep her no more. It's cheaper not to get her. So this is why. We out. Peace.